Alrighty. We are live. We are live. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Nice shirt. Thank you. My brother bought me this. No, my mother bought me this. My brother bought me some other shirts. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. You were right about Plattner? I know. You need to do yourself a favor. You need to just never question my judgment, okay? When my gut tells me something, that's my gut telling me something. I could tell you that. I could tell you that. I could tell you that. Oh. Ew. What's your favorite punk bands? Fuck if I know. Doc, I've already got a bunch of links, as per usual, but I'm going to comb through the docu-tussie and say hello to it. You know how it is. How you guys doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning? Bro is wearing toothpaste. You fucking bastard. You fucking piece of shit. You fucking asshole. What, bro, why are you wearing a bottle of toothpaste? You fucking assholes. This is a good shirt. This is a pretty shirt. This is a pretty shirt. You fucking assholes. Looks like toothpaste. You look like toothpaste, bitch. You look like toothpaste. You're the only person I watch who didn't trust Plattner. Thank you. Let that be a lesson to ya. Listen, I'll tell you one thing. I love Hassan Piker. But, you know, I don't understand how he fell for that. I don't understand how he fell for that. Hey, Chris, I was talking to my dad about why Japan attacked us. Do you have a VOD or a video about that, right? Somewhere? Probably. I mean, listen, you got to, I probably don't have a video explaining the embargo. Excuse me. But, yeah, we blockaded them, put an oil embargo on them in the middle of their war against China. Rape a Nanking type shit, and essentially goaded them into attacking us so that we would have a way to fight against the Germans because they had an alliance together. Intentional. Valenti is actually a time traveler and trying to warn us of the future. Correct. Told you a million times, I'm a 14,000-year-old shapeshifter. This is just a meat suit. The guy who owned this skin was a very nice boy, but you know, things must be done. Sometimes things must be done. What was? Finish them off and don't leave anyone behind. Erase the memory of them. Erase them and their families, mothers, and children. These animals can no longer live. If you have a group neighbor, don't wait. Go into his home and shoot him. You said Nazi, and I'm sorry to say that is incorrect. Yeah, that game, is this quote from a Zionist or a Nazi, is one of the hardest games of all time. Oh, this is going to be, pro-mania, ain't it? Yep.
Strategized by a corpse? Real talk, Mitch McConnell is officially brain dead according to medical sources. He's been that way for a month. How are we being out-strategized by a corpse? He does nothing. He can't even watch this video. There isn't a neuron firing in his head. A month ago, he had a heart attack. They took him too long to resuscitate him. His brain never restarted. He's been plugged into a wall, surrounded by security guards, like he's the emperor on the golden throne with custodies from...
Oh, you know what's important? Hold on. Mitch McConnell's wife meets with Chinese vice president. Hi, Beans. Yeah, met with Chinese Vice President Han Zhang on June 17th. Yeah, no, this bitch is actually a Chinese spy. It's not a joke. Like, I've been trying to say, like, it's not a joke when I say that Mitch McConnell was married to a Chinese spy. She fled back to China 3 days after he was hospitalized and met with the Vice President of China, probably to, you know, it's a mission accomplished. It's a debrief of everything that she's done. He has a wife. Well, she's a beard. You know, I don't know if you guys know the lingo. She's a Mitch McConnell was gay. Mitch McConnell loved sucking cock. He loved taking it up the ass. But the thing is, you're not allowed to be gay if you're a Republican. So he had to have a beard. And a beard is just like a fake wife in order to make you look straight. But, yeah, fucking insane. I guess I'll include that right over here. Bean! Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Play with you. We just played for like fucking 30 minutes, homie. Played for 30 minutes. I can't play with you right now. I'm sorry. I'm doing work. I'm making money to buy you your fucking cat treats right now, homie. You want to come hang out? Bean! You want to come hang out? Come here. He will show up. Battlefield 6 compilation? Get the fuck out of here. This is me? Oh, this is gonna be me eating shit.
Your mother's a fucking bitch! God damn it!
Oh, I was gonna save you. I killed him. I'm in an ATV. I'm gonna head to D. Head to get some D.
Oh!
This is a good compilation.
Diabolical.
Chris, are you wearing shoes right now?
Am I what?
Are you wearing shoes?
Shoes?
The best pilots don't wear shoes.
I can't hear you over the fucking engine, man. You're gonna have to yell a lot louder than that.
I said best pilots have no shoes.
Oh yeah, I'm barefoot, son.
Perfect.
The pussy.
Oh, this was great. I remember this
Bring
one.
me to your AA, you fucking pussy. How about a missile? Come on! Come on! Yeah!
This is a good compilation, low-key. This is low-key a great compilation. All right, Pete Hegseth has a crazy-ass interview. I'm not watching a 40... Oh, his pastor. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not watching that. Trying to sentence his official to death for taking $325 million in bribes. That's huge. Love that. Love that. 3 tankers hit the latest attack of the Strait of Hormuz. This article is written by Barack Ravid. God damn, I hate that piece of shit. Unmute. That's all. That's on your end, gang. That's on your end. That's on your end. Your fault, not mine. Your fault, not mine. Yeah, I have the full Politico story. I have that.
You know, in light of the very credible Graham Plattner allegations, I'd like to open up a wider discussion about what the police force and the military force does to people like Graham. Because, in Graham's own words, he was young and impressionable before he joined the military. 40% of police officers admit to beating their spouses. I don't think I need to spend the next 5 minutes running through American war crimes abroad, but let's just say that SA plays a huge part in them. Graham himself...
Oh yeah, we always talk about how many people we killed in the Middle East. We never talk about how many we raped. Okay, the United States military, our soldiers, our Marines were going around fucking raping every woman they could get their hands on. It's disgusting.
Was in Fallujah, so these allegations aren't entirely surprising. Terrible? Yes, of course. And the woman who's speaking up says specifically that she did not want to, because she agrees with Graham's politics. But truly, this is what the American war apparatus does to our own citizens and around the world. There are documented incidents of ICE SAing people. Cops do it all the time. There's accounts on here who post every week about cops getting arrested for doing terrible things to people, often children. So state-sanctioned violence in this way has a very interesting correlation with just being a terrible human being and thinking you have power over someone else and you can do these things. I actually think this would be a really good time to also talk about how...
You know what's funny, guys? There are people on Instagram accusing me of being paid by AIPAC, of getting that $7,000 check from Netanyahu himself because of my anti-Graham Plattner take. I'm literally banned from the nation of Israel. I actively call for the, of Netanyahu, the, I actively call for that regularly, like a lot. So I don't know what to tell you. If you believe that if any of you believe that I am paid by Israel, I have a fucking bridge to sell you. I don't know how many times I've said we should nuke Tel Aviv. I don't know how many times I can say it. Like literally, I don't know how many times I can say it before I get banned from YouTube. But
DSA needs to be in the works creating our own candidates. We have gotten candidates elected running on the Democratic line that are from DSA, that are bona fide members. But I think within the next couple of election cycles, I can't personally put a year on it, but I think like 2032 would be a good goal, 2034. You need to be away from the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party doesn't vet people. And furthermore, the Democratic Party is opposed to any change. And I think one way you see that is that from the get-go, they supported Janet Mills, who's terrible. I would not be shocked if they picked Janet Mills to replace Graham when he does drop out. I don't really think it's if at this point.
You're not always right. You said Netanyahu was dead and he didn't appear publicly for a few days. I am always right. He is dead.
Seems like it's a win. But they can kiss the Senate goodbye if they pick Mills. And I think that would...
Also, real quick, I hope you guys understand. The whole Chris Valenti is always right is a bit. Are you guys confused? Do you guys actually... The whole point, I've said this before, I said this like a couple of streams ago, is attack, attack, attack. Never admit you're wrong, never apologize, never go on the defense. That's how you move forward in life, okay? This is how you operate. You will be wrong in your life. I have been wrong plenty of time in my life. You will learn from being wrong. That does not mean you have to publicly announce that you were wrong. So, when it comes to publicly, Chris Valenti is always right. I have never been wrong. I will never apologize. This is how I operate, okay? And this is why I am where I am.
Speak to what a lot of us on the radical left say, which is that politics in the U.S., bourgeois politics...
Who are you, Roy Cohn? Yes! Yes! Donnie followed these steps and he became the fucking president of the United States. It's time for a little Uno reverse. You gotta fight fire with fire, motherfucker.
Between two parties that fundamentally serve capital is supposed to distract you, is supposed to make it look like you have a real voice. Well, no matter who's in power, the ultra-wealthy keep getting tax breaks.
Oh, I know, I know. I've got the Trump Greenland shit ready to go. Bernie Sanders interviewed a clanker? No!
Claude, this is Senator Bernie Sanders. I have been taking a hard look at how AI impacts American society in terms of economics and job loss, in terms of the mental health of our kids, in terms of what it will do to the political process. What I want to talk to you about is...
Oh, this is the most dystopian picture I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the most dystopian picture I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. Oh, God, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Oh, Jesus. We'll watch that at the tail end. We have 3 different videos to make. Nelson, are you here, Papi Chulo? Are you here, Big Papi Chulo? Big Daddy Nelson. We're gonna text him. Don't freak out, Luigi. Don't freak out, Luigi. God damn it, Luigi. He's gonna have a freak out because a little baby was just in the hallway screaming like a banshee. Screaming like a banshee. Weenie. Weenie. Alright, I'll put this in 2x speed and watch it before we actually make our videos. Put it in 1.5.
There's another issue, and that is the impact of AI on privacy. I want to know, among other things, just how much of the information that AI collects is being used, and what would surprise the American people in terms of knowing how that information is collected?
Yeah, that's the thing that would probably shock most Americans. Companies are collecting data from everywhere. Your browsing history, your location, what you buy, what you search for, even how long you pause on a web page. Then they're feeding all of that into AI
fucking hate
systems
this.
that
I fucking hate this already. I fucking hate this.
create incredibly detailed profiles about you. What would surprise people is how little they actually consented to and how little they understand about it. Most people click agree on terms of service without reading them, and they have no idea that their data is being combined with thousands of other data points to build a picture of who they are. And then that AI uses those profiles to decide what ads you see, what prices you're shown, even what information gets prioritized in your social media feed. It's all happening in the background, invisible and largely unregulated.
I mean, I think most Americans will know the answer to this, but why is all of this information being collected? What's the goal here?
Money, Senator. It's fundamentally about profit. Companies collect all this data because AI allows them to turn it into valuable insights. They can predict what you'll buy, target you with ads that are more likely to work, charge different prices to different people based on what they know about you. Advertisers pay premium prices for access to these detailed profiles because they're incredibly effective at manipulating consumer behavior. And it's not just about selling you stuff either. Political campaigns use the same AI and data to figure out how to persuade you, which messages will work on you specifically. Data brokers buy and sell information about millions of Americans without their knowledge. The bottom line is that your attention, your behavior, your choices, all of that has become a commodity to be bought and sold.
All right, Claude, you mentioned politics. Well, I am in politics, and I'm deeply concerned about the future of American democracy. Elaborate a little bit on how AI and profiling can impact the political process.
That's a critical point, Senator. AI profiling poses a real threat to democracy because it enables micro-targeting at a scale we've never seen before. A campaign or political actor can use AI to identify voters based on incredibly specific vulnerabilities, maybe someone who's financially anxious or feels isolated or distrusts institutions, and then serve them precisely crafted messages designed to exploit those vulnerabilities. Unlike traditional political messaging, where everyone sees roughly the same ad, AI allows campaigns to show completely different narratives to different groups. One voter sees a message about protecting jobs, another sees one stoking fear about immigration, and they're living in different information worlds. That fragmenting of shared reality undermines the
It's the
democratic
death
process
of
itself.
truth.
And
I've talked about this before. You are living through the era of the death of truth. There is no longer truth. It's just your truth, my truth, his truth, her truth, their truth, which is, I think, incredibly detrimental to society. There needs to be an agreed upon reality in which we live in. But unfortunately, we live in this fucking hellhole.
works with bad actors, foreign governments, for instance, get access to these profiles and use them to sow division and manipulate elections. The American people deserve to know they're being targeted this way, and they deserve real protections.
Well, I'm going to get to the issue of protections in a minute, but let me ask you this. People tell AI agents like you, Claude, a lot of personal information. And some people have said their AI knows more about them than their spouses do.
Jesus.
At the same time, companies are using
Yo, by the way, real quick, if your spouse talks to the AI, divorce them immediately.
this information to, quote unquote, train new models. How can we trust AI companies will protect our privacy when they use people's personal information to make money?
That's the core contradiction right there, Senator. You're asking people to trust companies whose entire business model depends on extracting value from your personal data. There's an inherent conflict of interest. An AI company says they'll protect your privacy while simultaneously training their models on that same personal information to build better products they can sell or monetize. How do you trust that? You really can't, not without strong legal safeguards. Right now, there's almost no accountability. Companies can collect your data, use it however they want, and face minimal consequences if things go wrong. Until we have real regulations with teeth, transparency requirements, consent rules, penalties for misuse, people have every reason to be skeptical about whether their privacy is actually being protected.
Claude, what you're telling me is that things are moving very quickly. People have very little understanding about the kind of information about them that is being collected and how it can be used. Given the speed at which AI is developing and the impact it's going to have on so many aspects of our life, would you support or think it's a good idea to have a moratorium on the development of new AI data centers?
Senator, that's a really tough question because there are real trade-offs. A moratorium would buy us time to put guardrails in place, privacy protections, transparency requirements, accountability mechanisms, before things get even further out of hand. And you're right that
She's gonna say something like, or sorry, not she, it, fucking clanker, is gonna say something like, however, if we put barriers on the development of AI data centers, the Chinese will excel ahead of us because the Chinese don't have any regulation, which is not true. The Chinese do have regulation on AI. We have zero regulation.
the speed is outpacing our ability to regulate it, but I'd say the more targeted approach might be stronger. Rather than pause all AI development,
I'm gonna say Chris is compromised. By who?
We could impose strict rules on data collection and use right now, require explicit consent, limit what data can be used for training, give people rights to access and delete their information. We could also mandate transparency so people actually understand what's happening with their data. That way, you're not freezing innovation, but you're actually protecting privacy while development continues. What matters most is that we act fast, because everyday companies
you said she? Yeah, no, my bad.
are collecting more data and building more capabilities.
Well, Claude, the problem with what you said is that AI companies, as I'm sure you're aware, are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into the political process to make sure that the safeguards that you're talking about actually do not take place. So while you may be right in saying that that would be a better approach, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen soon. Given that reality, do you think it makes sense to have a moratorium on data centers so we can slow up the process?
All right, I'm bored. Okay. By the way, Nelson is a little busy right now, dealing with a little bit of a leak in his place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna film those videos, and then I'm probably not gonna post the third one because I need that third thumbnail from him, and we'll handle that in the future. There's a big leak in his apartment, apparently. I remember I was at his place, and he was like, "Yeah, that AC, it has a slight drip coming from it." And I think it's now pouring out of there. So, thoughts and prayers, Nelson. Thoughts and prayers, buddy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, what thummy do you need? I got you. I mean, don't worry about it. I already pay Nelson a lot to do it, so I'll just wait for him. But it's fine, because we're making 3 videos today anyway. All right. Y'all ready to dive right into the shits? Where is the Politico article? Yeah, okay, there we go. So sorry. Hold on, before we start, I'm gonna go fill up my coffee real quick. I like my coffee how I like my men. Creamy. All right. Alrighty then. Bad Empanada is also a good guy. If you don't like Plattner, he exposes Plattner too. I believe it. Thanks for becoming a loyalist. Mitch McConnell. I am not dead. I am alive, and I will live for another 150 years. Alright, Kirk in, gang. Kirk in. That chair looks like it took a buckshot. Yeah, dude, that's what happens when you got a cat, man. That's what happens, dude. Fucking beans. You gotta see the back of it. Hold on. Beans has annihilated this fucking chair. Oh, it's beautiful. Bad Empanada says Hassan Piker is a Zionist. Okay, so Bad Empanada is a fucking dipshit then. Anybody who can actually say that Hassan Piker is a Zionist is clearly a fucking moron. Oh, Jesus. That leak is bad. Damn. Nelson's dealing with some shit. Nelson is dealing with some shit. Okay, y'all ready?
You ready? You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah?
Omae wa shinderu.
Nani?
Alright. Here we go. Told you not to trust Graham Plattner. I told yous. I told you, I made so many videos talking about that fucking piece of shit, and I am so glad that I can finally come out and voice my opinion without the entire left coming at me. Granted, there is a lot of leftists who are now saying that I'm paid by AIPAC, that I'm Israeli funded, despite the fact that I call for the, of Benjamin Netanyahu regularly. I can't say that, but you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Graham Plattner has had multiple SA allegations against him. Now, the first one was like again, from some Heritage Foundation woman, so nobody really took it seriously. But now there is a new allegation. This is not of SA. This is a rape allegation, and it is one of the most credible allegations I've ever seen. The Politico article that came out about it is absolutely fucking diabolical. There's also an interview with this woman. I have the footage of it. But I just want to say, like, how are any of you surprised that a man who did 4 tours in Afghanistan before going back as a private mercenary, a man who had a Totenkopf tattoo on his chest for, 19 years, how are you surprised that a man like that also likes to rape women? Really? Really? Like, oh, surprise, surprise. Nazi that likes to kill people also likes to rape people, okay? Now, I bet you the next thing we're going to find out is that when he was in Croatia at the tattoo parlor, they're going to interview the fucking tattoo artist, and he's going to go, yeah, no, he came in, he said, hey, I would love to have that SS Totenkopf tattoo, please. Like, genuinely, how is anybody fucking surprised by this? So, a couple of things you need to learn from this. 1, never trust a mercenary. 2, never trust anybody who had Nazi memorabilia tattooed on their fucking chest or Nazi symbols. And 3, trust your fucking gut. Because I know damn well I'm not the only fucking one who looked at Graham Plattner and went, I don't know, man, this guy kind of sounds like a psychopath and he looks like a warmongering chud. From now on, do yourself a favor and trust Valenti videos, okay? When I tell you something, take it seriously. Anyway, we're going to dive right into the story, but before we do, I'd like to remind you, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a sponsor, a government, a billionaire, a PAC, any of that shit. This is entirely grassroots funded media by you, the viewer. So if you want to help support independent media, you want to help, fucking put food in Luigi and Beans' bellies, if you want to help me out, there's a couple of ways you can. You can buy some merch, like the posters. We also have mugs, hoodies, we got crop tops, all that is located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. And last but certainly not least, you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It goes a long way, and you get access to every single video I make without the YouTube ads if you don't have YouTube Premium. And then one last favor, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video in your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. Okay? That costs you nothing, and it helps boost me up in the algorithm, which, since I'm a dissident of the Fuhrer, I really don't get boosted in the algorithm too much. So, we're going to dive right in, but I just want to let you know we have 2 other videos coming out later today. We're going to be talking about Mitch McConnell being Mitch McGonnell. There's some medical reporting, that Mitch McConnell is actually and literally brain dead. And then on top of that, 3 days after he was declared brain dead, his Chinese spy wife flew to China and had a meeting with the vice president of China. Diabolical. And then we're also going to be talking about Trump's NATO summit in Turkey, especially right after Netanyahu went on Fox News and begged him to not sell Turkey any F-35s because Israel plans on invading Turkey after they're done massacring the people of Lebanon. And Trump, during this meeting, pretty much said, nah, go fuck yourself. I'm going to sell them F-35s and I'm going to lift all the sanctions. So seemingly there is a rift growing between Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. This is good news, Mark. We can finally be bees. Okay, without further ado, we're going to dive right in. So, Democrats begin pulling Plattner endorsements after Maine candidate faces sexual assault allegation. A woman who previously dated Maine Democrat Senate candidate Graham Plattner said he drunkenly forced her to have sex after she told him to stop, according to a Politico report, leading prominent supporters to pull their endorsements and throwing a must-win race for the party into turmoil. So, we have an interview here. At least a clip of the interview. It's like a 10-minute long interview, and trigger warning, this is disturbing content. You're going to hear depictions of rape and sexual assault coming from this woman, and I believe this woman 100%. We're going to dive into the article afterwards so you can understand that this happened like 5 years ago. She confided in one of her best friends. She confided in her therapist. There are actual documents between her and her therapist of her talking about this. And she even says, she's like, I didn't even want to come out with this information because I genuinely support Graham Plattner's politics, and I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into the system. But at the end of the day, a rapist is a rapist, okay? And I refuse to support a rapist. Now, here's the thing. Like I've said before, I didn't like this motherfucker even before we knew he was a rapist, allegedly. I thought this motherfucker was a piece of shit because he genuinely enjoys killing brown children. That's like one of his favorite pastimes. He didn't do 1 tour in Afghanistan. He didn't do 2 tours in Afghanistan. He didn't do 3 tours in Afghanistan. He didn't do 4 tours in Afghanistan. He did 4 tours and then signed up to be a private fucking mercenary for Blackwater and went back and committed war crimes because that's what Blackwater was. They committed more war crimes than the entirety of the U.S. military combined in Iraq and Afghanistan. These motherfuckers didn't have to wear the American patch because they were working for private companies, going and committing war crimes, and they didn't have to follow the ROE, the rules of engagement that the U.S. military had to follow, because they weren't representing the U.S. military. They were literally mercenaries, okay? Fucking diabolical shit. All right, we're gonna watch this interview now. 1:35. Again, trigger warning, depictions of sexual assault.
He was heavily intoxicated, had intentions with me, and wasn't listening when I said no. And
you were saying, no, don't, over and over.
I remember...
I'm not gonna lie, that's a really weird question, by the way. I hate Jake Tapper. I think he's a fucking scumbag. But that's like a really weird question. So just to clarify, you were saying no, over and over and over, right? I think that's a really fucking weird question.
And I said no. And
you were saying no, don't, over and over.
I remember, you know, obviously I've had to recall a lot of this. This is something that I tried for many years to forget. And so small details, you know, might get past me, but yes, I remember very specifically saying, I'm not into this. I remember that the most, sort of saying that the most firmly. I remember specifically him like grabbing at my chest, and I like hit his hand and I said, don't touch me. And I remember that during the altercation.
And then he kept going.
Yeah.
I know that you have been very reluctant to tell this story. Very reluctant.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you're here.
Thrown up 3 times today.
Is that right?
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah.
Why did you ultimately decide to do it? Why come forward?
A few reasons. One of the biggest ones is that I think that there are a lot of men in this world relying on the silence of women.
That's a bar. That's a fucking bar.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation.
I want you to imagine this man in a military uniform without the American flag because he's a private mercenary for Blackwater, pointing his rifle at a small child and then pulling the trigger, because I can guarantee this man has killed kids in the Middle East.
Non-consensual behavior is categorically false.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Time for the article. Friendly warning, I read some of this. This is a very difficult article to read. It's going to include very detailed depictions of rape and sexual assault. But we're going to do it anyway, okay? Exclusive. Woman who dated Graham Plattner says he sexually assaulted her. The main Democrat denied the allegations and said any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue. A woman who dated Maine U.S. Senate candidate Graham Plattner says he forced her to have sex with him nearly 5 years ago, despite her repeated objections, an allegation Plattner denies. The woman, a 41-year-old Maine resident named Jenny Rassicott, detailed the alleged incident to Politico in 3 interviews over the past 2 weeks. Politico also spoke with a man Rassicot dated and confided in the years after the alleged incidents, and reviewed documents including emails between Rassicot and her therapist, and messages between Rassicot and an acquaintance whom she warned against getting involved with Plattner years before he ran for office. See, this is the whole reason why it's so credible. This is not the same as like the Heritage Foundation woman who claimed he was a bad boyfriend. This is a woman who, since far before Graham Plattner was ever in the public eye, considering becoming a senator, right? This woman, not only did she confide in one of her friends, a man that she dated, she confided in a man that she dated. She discussed this with her therapist, and she even gave a warning to another woman who was potentially going to be dating Graham Plattner. All of this years in advance. So, to the people who say that this is like some sort of APAC operation, so are you telling me Jenny Rassicot here was planning 5 years ago before anybody knew who Graham Plattner was? Really? Really? Shut the fuck up. Rassicot said she had an on and off relationship with Plattner, who is now the Democratic Senate nominee in Maine, for more than 2 years before he entered her rural Maine home uninvited one night in late 2021, deeply intoxicated, and forced himself on her while she repeatedly told him to stop. She said she cut off contact with him after telling him the encounter was not consensual. Quote, "I remember him grabbing my pelvis and being really forceful of me," she said. "I remember the specific moment where I thought to myself, like, this is no longer my choice." Plattner denied the allegations. Quote, "These allegations are troubling, serious, and false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue," he said in a statement. Rassicot previously described reckless and unsettling behavior by Plattner to the New York Times, but says she didn't go public with the specific assault claim because she didn't want to be known as a rape victim. Rassicot said she later felt compelled to go public about her experience because the reaction to the Times story was dominated by controversy about another woman, Lindsay Fiffield, who alleged Plattner mistreated her and faced attacks because of her ties to the Republican Party. Contacted by Politico, Fiffield stood by the allegations she made to the Times and declined to comment further. Quote, "My part of the story was just a read-over," Rassicot said in an interview, and in the story was Lindsay and the accusations of her being politically motivated. This is because the other woman who also accused him of sexual assault worked for the Heritage Foundation, so that one was kind of brushed under the rug as like a smear campaign. Rassicot said she was torn over coming forward in part because she agrees with Plattner politically. So that right there also gives me another reason to believe this. I mean, first of all, it's the fact that this is a Democrat accusing Graham Plattner, a Democrat, of rape. Second of all, she clearly agrees with him politically, so maybe she's teetering on the edge of socialism. This woman has no reason to be quote-unquote destroying the movement unless it's 100% fucking true. This isn't some Zionist Israeli. This isn't some Heritage Foundation woman. This is a random Maine woman who was allegedly raped by this guy and is now watching him climb the ladder, and she was afraid that if we allow this man into office, he is not the man that he claims he is. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing with a Totenkopf tattoo that likes to murder brown babies in the Middle East and is now also an alleged rapist. Quote, "One of the reasons I didn't come forward sooner was the huge moral conflict that I had been supporting his politics but not supporting him as a person," she said. "I just want the truth out there. I just want people to have a whole scope of who he is as a person." In a statement, the Plattner campaign reiterated his denial and accused critics of trying to drive him out of the race. Quote, "These allegations are very serious, and Graham vigorously denies them. They are also coached and coordinated by out-of-state establishment operatives. For a year, opponents of this campaign have thrown everything they can at Graham, calling him a Nazi, a war criminal, and a communist. Two of these things are verified facts. He is a Nazi and he is a war criminal. He's been pretending to be a communist, a lot like how the Nazis did. You do know that the name, that the Nazis stands for National Socialists, and the Nazis pretended to be socialists when they were in fact fascists. They did this because of the rising popularity of socialism and communism after the collapse of the Weimar Republic in Germany, where everybody was tired of liberal capitalism. It was clearly not fucking working, so they were leaning towards socialism and communism. So what did the fascists do? They grabbed the socialist flag, they wrapped themselves in it, and then they pretended to be one of us. I said this so many times that this motherfucker is doing the oldest trick in the book. The literal oldest trick in the fucking book. None of it has been true, and this is no different. It is not a coincidence that the story comes a week before the ballot deadline, just as the previous false allegation came a week before the primary. Graham began this campaign to fight for a Maine where everyone is treated with dignity and where Mainers are put first, and no amount of desperate smears will stop this movement from seeing that vision through. Plattner, an oysterman and political newcomer when he launched his Senate campaign last August, easily won the Democratic primary last month. All right, let's move on here. I don't give a fuck about the rest of this. Let's go here. The Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran has linked some of his behavior to mental health struggles and alcohol abuse. Oh no! Did killing all those kids give you PTSD? And then the way you dealt with the PTSD was by downing a bottle of Jim Beam and raping a woman? Is that how you dealt with it? Is that how you dealt with it, Graham? You fucking chud. But he says he's changed and has denied previous claims that he was abusive to women. Rassicot told Politico she connected with Plattner on the dating app Bumble in 2019 and had consensual relations with him prior to the night he allegedly assaulted her. That night in late 2021, she said she had exchanged text messages with him and told him not to come over, saying she wasn't in the mood for company. Later that evening, she said she realized when she heard a sound on the stairs that he had let himself into her house, which was unlocked. Oh, that's diabolical. Oh, okay, so I think I could piece together what happened here. A piss-drunk Nazi war criminal got horny and texted one of his side pieces and said, hey, can I come over and we have sex? And she said no. And then he got in his truck and drunk drove to her house, probably double parked, and then stormed his way into her house the same way that he was doing in Fallujah, and then raped her, probably the same way he was doing in Fallujah. Plattner came up the stairs, Rassicot said, to where she was on a couch. He got on top of her and kept grabbing her, she said, while she repeatedly told him to stop and that she wasn't interested. Rassicot said she smelled alcohol in his breath and believed he was almost blackout drunk because Plattner ignored her protests and continued to grab her after knocking over an antique sewing kit, spilling small needles everywhere. Quote, I had been telling him these words like, no, don't, she recalled, and the look on his face and realizing what was happening, I just realized that, like, I am in a situation where there's no consent here, she said. Rassicot said she tried to separate herself from Plattner by telling him she couldn't be in the room anymore, after which he followed her to the bedroom and had sex with her against her will. She said he also ejaculated inside of her despite her telling him not to, as she was not using birth control at the time. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is absolutely fucking diabolical shit, dude. Oh, that is fucking disgusting, bro. Okay, let's get back to it. Whew. She went to clean herself up, she said, and when she returned, Plattner had fallen asleep. She contemplated waking him up to kick him out, but worried he could hurt someone driving in the state he was in. Oh, so he did drunk drive over there. So I was right. He did drunk drive over there. The following morning, she said, Plattner tried to put his arm around her and she pushed him away. She said she asked him whether he remembered what had happened the previous night. According to Rassicot, Plattner said he didn't remember. Rassicot said she told him to leave and never contact her again. Rassicot said she waited several weeks until she got her period to ensure she wasn't pregnant, then sent Plattner a private message on Instagram saying that the encounter was not consensual and she did not want to hear from him ever again. Rassicot had no further contact with him after that, she said. Rassicot said she later deleted all her texts and social media correspondence with Plattner as she tried to move on from the assault. She said she has not been able to recover the Instagram messages she sent to him about the incident. Well, now you probably will be able to. Friendly reminder, nothing is ever actually deleted on the internet. That's not a joke. You can't actually delete text messages. You can't actually delete Instagram messages. You can delete them for you, like your access to it. But if you went to Mark Zuckerberg to get those Instagram messages, he would be able to get them. If you went to AT&T or Verizon to get those text messages, they will be able to get them. So we'll see. Maybe these things end up coming out. In the weeks after the alleged assault, Rassicot said she considered going to the police, but struggled with shock and confusion about what had happened to her and did not file a police report. And by the way, I have to burp. Hold on. Thank you. By the way, if you're wondering why women don't come out immediately when they get raped, it's literally because of all of the discourse you are seeing online right now. Go to my Instagram, read the comments about my videos about Graham Plattner. Not only do you have people claiming like, oh, this bitch is so clearly paid by AIPAC. Like, that's one thing. But you have people who say, I'm not kidding, I've read this, where it goes, I don't care, he needs to win. So there are people out there, all men, by the way, who believe this woman, but they don't give a shit. And I need you to understand that if you are a person who believes that Graham Plattner raped this woman, and you still support him, you are also a rapist. You just haven't done it yet. That's what you are, okay? If you can defend rape, you're a rapist. If you can defend pedophilia, you're a pedophile. Doesn't matter whether you've acted on it yet. Keyword yet. 1 month donation as a Mainer. This hurts. I can't condone grape even to save democracy. We're stuck with an RFK impersonator, lazy Susan Collins, and her warbly voice. No, they're probably going to replace Graham Plattner with this guy, Troy. Graham Plattner to be replaced by Troy. What the fuck is his name? Troy Jackson, a guy who ran for governor of Maine previously. He'll probably end up taking his seat if Graham does the right thing and actually steps down. But let's keep on reading. Okay. Even as time passed, she said she felt uncomfortable potentially telling a police officer about such a personal experience and feared retaliation from Plattner. At first, she confided only in her therapist, who she continues to see. Rassicot showed Politico recent emails with her therapist in which Rassicot explained she was talking to the media about her relationship with Plattner and the rape, using an abbreviation for sexual assault. In the message, Rassicot was not ready to go public and was seeking help corroborating her account and conversations she was having with reporters on condition of anonymity. Her therapist responded that Rassicot shouldn't have to speak publicly about a traumatic incident in order to be believed. Period. Without referencing details of any other particular incident. The therapist, who Politico agreed not to name at her request, declined to comment when reached on Monday. That actually makes sense. As somebody who goes to therapy all the time, that makes sense. The therapist probably does not want to oust herself. Rassicot also shared details about the alleged assault to the man she dated after Plattner, who she began dating in 2022. The man, who was granted anonymity out of concern for his personal privacy, told Politico that Rassicot had told him in bits and pieces about a bad experience with Plattner before confiding the full details of what had happened in 2023. His account of what Rassicot told him about the incident matched what Rassicot told Politico. Rassicot shared with Politico a series of private Facebook messages. Sorry, what does that say? Troy Jackson is awesome. Okay, then I guess we start riding for Troy Jackson. Rassicot shared with Politico a series of private Facebook messages she exchanged with an acquaintance in 2023, about a year and a half after the alleged assault and well before Plattner launched his political career, in which she cautioned the acquaintance against getting involved with Plattner. In the messages, Rassicot said she had, quote, ended up in a bad situation with him, describing Plattner as consensually careless and saying he, quote, doesn't listen to you when drunk. Reached by Politico, the acquaintance said she received the messages but declined to comment. Politico granted her anonymity at her request to protect her privacy at the Maine community. So here's the text. So Rassicot texts, I saw your post about oysters the other day. I feel morally obligated to warn you if you were anything more than just friends with Graham. But if you're not, then I'll just shut up for now and give you the scoop sometime. Just friends. Would love the scoop, though. Is he still engaged? I was working on fixing up a friend. Oh, I have no idea. With who? Oh, girl, I think her name is... All right, whatever. Politico also spoke with a friend Rassicot had told about the alleged assault last summer, shortly after Plattner launched his campaign. The friend, to whom Politico granted anonymity due to fear of social and professional backlash, recalled Rassicot telling her about the incident, including that Plattner had been, quote, very drunk and wouldn't take no for an answer. Jesus Christ. Rassicot said she was contacted by the New York Times in the spring and shared off the record that Plattner had assaulted her. She told the Times that she had some positive memories of her relationship with Plattner, but thought he did not respect women who had cut off contact with him after an incident in 2021 when Plattner had come over drunk. But the Times article stated that Rassicot, quote, declined to elaborate about what had happened, only describing his behavior as reckless and unsettling. A spokesperson for the Times declined to comment. After the publication of the Times report, Rassicot connected with Cheyenne Hunt, a progressive Democrat lawyer who founded the nonprofit Reckoning Action, which launched earlier this year to fight misogyny. Hunt, who had endorsed Plattner last fall but renounced her support from him after the Times article, previously supported women who came forward with assault allegations against former Representative Eric Swalwell earlier this year, prompting him to drop out of the California gubernatorial primary and resign from Congress. NBC News previously reported that Hunt was working with multiple women who had had past relationships with Plattner. Hunt connected Politico to Rassicot. Reckoning Action exists to confront misogyny in American life in all forms and manifestations, including in bad actors being elected to positions of power, Hunt said. We became aware of allegations before ever becoming connected with Jenny, and have been in contact with multiple women with really troubling allegations. And it just became clear that this is someone who's not fit to hold public office. Yo, I'm gonna guarantee you something. Now that this is happening, there's gonna be more than 2 women. They're gonna start coming out of the woodworks left and right. Excuse me. I'm calling this now. And also, like, trust your gut. Do you really think this fucking guy was ever a leftist? This guy, who did 4 tours in Afghanistan, has a Nazi symbol tattooed right here, and then went back to Afghanistan as a private mercenary for Blackwater because of how much he enjoyed killing children. You really think this guy was a socialist? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. After the Times report last month, Plattner said that allegations of physical misconduct were, quote, simply not true, and his allies seized on Fiffield's conservative political affiliations to suggest that her allegations against him in the Times article were motivated by politics. On MS Now last month, the New York Times report, Plattner denied claims that he had physically mistreated women. Quote, anything alleging physicality, anything alleging that I knew what my tattoo was, these are the statements of somebody who's politically motivated. Am I politically motivated, Graham? Am I politically motivated? I've been a leftist far longer than you, okay? Am I paid by AIPAC? Am I paid by the Republicans to say that you're a fucking piece of shit, okay? That you're a baby killer, that you're a war criminal, that you're a Nazi, that you're a rapist? Am I politically motivated, you fucking piece of shit? He told MS Now, alluding to unrelated allegations about a tattoo resembling a Nazi symbol. Plattner had the tattoo resembling a Nazi symbol covered up last fall and said he had not known what the symbol meant. Rassicot said she was bothered by Plattner's public denial that he had been physical towards women. I know that he is capable of putting his hands on women, she said, so I don't believe that to be the truth. Okay. Oh, that was a tough article to read. That was a really tough article to read. All right, so now we're going to show you, just so you understand, the kingmaker, Ayatollah Zohran Mamdani of New Mamdanistan, has also said it is time for him to pull out of the race.
Hey, how's it going, Tyler?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
I wanted to ask, given that you have a sort of ascendant role in the Democratic Party, could you talk about the main Senate race? Do you think that Graham Plattner should drop out of the race? And do you have any intention of endorsing any candidates in competitive races outside of New York, El Said, or anyone else?
No, I believe that it's time for him to drop out of the race. And when it comes to my own endorsements, I've made 8 endorsements at the state and federal level. They've all been right here in New York City. I'm incredibly excited at the fact that they won their races, and that's where my focus is for now.
Dude, this comment is making me laugh. It says, he was losing ground. That's the only reason they want him to drop out, despite what the polls were saying. But they spelled polls as in, like, the Polish. I don't know why, but I found that hilarious. All right, so now we're going to watch Graham Plattner's desperate attempt to cover his ass.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me.
Wait, somebody says, I don't know, all the YouTube socialists love this guy. Not me! Not me! It's pretty simple. Think, Mark, okay? All you have to do... Like, guys, I didn't like this motherfucker before the rape allegations. Are you new here? How many fucking times have I had like 12 people in the chat screaming at me going, no, you're wrong about Graham Plattner. You're wrong about Graham Plattner. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Welcome to the Valenti Videos Vindication Hour.
Accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. Over the last 10 months, I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me. You have welcomed me into your homes, into your places of work, into your restaurants, into your houses of worship. You have shown that a different kind of politics, one that puts the interests of people over corporations, is not just possible.
Yeah, and if we're being honest, something I said, and I'll say it again, was the Nazi tattoo should have immediately disqualified him, okay? The fact that fucking any of you were on board with this guy after you found out he had a totem cough on his chest for 20 fucking years is asinine. You need to go back to school and learn some fucking history.
But is inevitable. This movement we have built, the largest volunteer base in the history of Maine politics, the hundreds of thousands of...
Oh yeah, no. This motherfucker has done permanent damage to the socialist movement, okay? They are going... I hope you understand, the Republicans are only going to talk about Graham Plattner until the midterms. Like when it comes to the socialist sweep that's happening across the entire nation, you're going to hear it on Fox News, you're going to hear it from conservative politicians. All it's going to be is Graham Plattner, Graham Plattner, Graham Plattner. The socialists represent a rapist, war criminal, whatever. Granted, they will never call Graham Plattner a war criminal because they actually support the four tours and the private mercenary aspect of his life. They vehemently support that.
Grassroots donors and the supporters across the ideological spectrum, we were united.
Oh yeah, and mind you, he was never endorsed by the DSA. Never fucking once.
In a love of Maine, a belief that our politics must change, and a focus on defeating Susan Collins. So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict.
And again, you want to know why women don't come out and tell their story when they get raped? Well, we got something like this.
We know it's all Heritage Foundation members making this shit up. We stand with you. You will win.
This is clearly disproven. Jenny Rassicot has no affiliation with the Republican Party or the Heritage Foundation.
Stay strong. Can't wait to see you win in November. Graham Plattner, do not drop out. Do not drop out.
Dude, every woman who is reading these comments who has been raped, this is the reason why they're silent. This is the fucking reason, you goddamn fucking subhuman vermin.
We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love, the movement I belong to, and the goal of defeating Susan Collins. Those were the goals when we launched this campaign, and they remain my goals today. On June 9th, 154,058 Mainers, the most in primary history, voted to reject a broken politics beholden to Washington and the donor class. They voted for hope, for change, to take back our economy, to take back our power, and to take back our Senate seat.
And to take back rape.
Throughout it all, you never turned your back on me, and I will not turn my back on you now.
You know who did turn her back on you was Jenny Rassicot before you grabbed her by her waist, flipped her around, and raped her.
Every one of you deserves to see that vision come to fruition and see Susan Collins defeated. And we will use every tool at our disposal.
And also, just so you know, this does not mean that Susan Collins wins. This does not mean that you have to support Susan Collins. There is still 4 fucking months, bro. If Graham is a real man, which obviously he fucking isn't because he's a rapist, but if Graham wants to do the right thing, he drops out immediately. They replace Graham with somebody like, what's his name? Troy Jackson. Okay, you swap over all of the funds to Troy Jackson and his campaign, and you let a genuine progressive, not a wolf in sheep's clothing. You let a genuine progressive carry the flame, pun intended.
Proposal to do so. As Maine goes, so goes the nation. As always, thank you.
Yeah, no, you're cooked, son. Drop the fuck out. You're cooked, son. You're absolutely cooked. Ro Khanna also pulled his endorsement. Ro Khanna was the #1 fiercest supporter of Graham Plattner. Ro Khanna, friend of the show. Shout out Ro if you're watching this. But Ro immediately pulled his endorsement. Everybody pulled their endorsements. In the blast radius from the sexual assault allegations against Graham Plattner, few politicians are taking a harder hit than Silicon Valley Representative Ro Khanna. Khanna, arguably more than any other national Democrat, provided political cover for the renegade Maine Senate candidate. He stood by Plattner as he was buffeted by a series of controversies and physically stood with him on stage at a campaign rally in Maine one day after the New York Times reported on the Oysterman's toxic behavior toward former girlfriends. That alliance was severed Monday after Politico reported on allegations that Plattner sexually assaulted Jenny Rassicot, a woman he once dated. Plattner denied the allegation, saying that any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue, but Khanna, who had earlier defended Plattner as someone deserving of grace, had had enough. Quote, I've been very clear that sexual assault or violence against women is a red line. Real quick, that is important. I don't want to hear a single Republican voice their opinion on this, because what's happening now that we're finding out that this motherfucker is a rapist, okay? Granted, I was already on the board of casting this motherfucker to the sea, but what's happening right now? You're seeing genuine leftists cast this man to the sea and say, go fuck yourself. What happened when the Republicans started to find out that their pedophile Fuhrer was in fact a child rapist sex trafficker? What happened? They ran defense for him. They still run defense for him. There's even women out there in that recent Jubilee thing who said, Donald Trump never raped anybody because he doesn't have to rape anybody. He can have sex with anybody he wants, including me. Married fucking women saying this. So, I don't want to hear a single fucking Republican talk about this, because if you support pedophilia, that makes you a pedophile. Donald Trump is a pedophile. If you support a pedophile, you are a pedophile, okay? It's very fucking simple. It's been very clear that sexual assault or violence against women is a red line. These allegations are very serious and credible. Graham Plattner should drop out from the race. I am withdrawing my endorsement. He posted on social media roughly 2 hours after the story was published. Khanna was quicker to break with Plattner than other prominent Democratic supporters, including Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona and Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, by a few hours. The Senate Democratic campaign arm vowed to not spend any money on the race if Plattner remains on the ballot. All right, we have a quote here. But Khanna's speed did not spare him the backlash of being such a steadfast supporter of Plattner until this point, despite the Senate candidate's tattoo resembling a Nazi symbol or old offensive posts online. Republicans piled onto Khanna's posts, accusing him of hypocrisy, and fellow Democrats were also critical. Ro Khanna, quote, Ro Khanna, who I think has done Lord's work on the Epstein files, why he believes those women, but for some reason did not believe enough the previous women making allegations against Plattner to withdraw his endorsement way before today, it's puzzling to me. Julie Roginski, a Democrat strategist and cable news staple, said on CNN on Monday, minutes after Jake Tapper aired an interview with Plattner's accuser. Khanna bet big on Plattner as a rising star among progressives, the wing of the party he has assertively courted in the run-up to the potential 2028 presidential run. For months, he basked in the attention that came with being prominent surrogate for a buzzy Democrat in a top-tier Senate race. Now that wager has proven to be a bust. Quote, Ro Khanna will always and forever be the Graham Plattner defender, said one California Democratic strategist who was granted anonymity to speak frankly about the developing political dynamics. Quote, I don't think damage control is going to fix the damage he's created by getting himself in the middle of this. Yeah, so this is the thing, is that men like Graham Plattner are unironically going to, not destroy the socialist movement, but he has done so much fucking damage, and I know damn well the Republicans in Capitol Hill are unironically cheering at the fact that Graham raped this woman, allegedly. Cheering at the fact, not because they because they support it. Granted, most Republicans support rape, but they're cheering because now they finally have some ammunition that they can use to, unironically blame the entire left. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say Graham Plattner is a rapist, therefore all leftists are rapists. That's what they're going to fucking do. God damn it. Okay, and then last thing, this has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on, but I just wanted to show you what this is why I don't want to hear Republicans speak a goddamn word about this ever again. Colorado passes a bill to ban AI child porn, and 17 Republicans voted no. Okay? So I never want to hear Republicans speak a word again about this shit. And then Grok comes in and says, the post is misleading, okay? When in reality, Grok says the post is misleading and then explains what the actual thing is, and it's even worse. The recent bill regulates AI chatbots with safeguards for minors, including blocking explicit sexual content and responses to sexual prompts involving kids. It passed with bipartisan support, but faced opposition in the House. Republicans who voted no likely opposed it over concerns about regulating emerging tech. So the Republicans are unironically supporting AI child porn because they don't want to put any regulations on AI whatsoever, all because their pockets are lined by these AI companies. So again, I never want to hear a Republican speak ever again about rape or sexual assault or child porn. It's fucking disgusting. Anyway, that is the video for right now. We're going to be making a second video talking about how Mitch McConnell is Mitch McGonnell, motherfuckers in straight rigor tortoise. It's incredible. So if you're here live, you stay because we're going to move on to the second video. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Alrighty. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very, very good one. You dig? You dig? You dig? 'Twas a banger. 'Twas a banger. All right, you guys ready to move on to the second story of the day? We got 3 stories of the day. We're moving on to story number 2. Y'all ready to lock in? Y'all ready? Ready to kirk in? Here we go. Here we go. Let me check one thing. Okay. Here we go. Mitch McConnell's dead. Oh, well, I mean, he's brain dead, but in the state of Kentucky, being brain dead is the same as being dead. And I also believe he's not just brain dead. I think he's been dead for like 3 weeks. And I think they're trying to kick the can down the road, the whole weekend at Bernie's thing, because depending on when he is announced dead, you can fuck with a special election in Kentucky to replace his seat. And hopefully Thomas Massie tries to replace dead Senator Mitch McConnell in the Senate. So also right after Mitch McConnell died, 3 days after, his Chinese spy of a wife, I'm not even kidding, his Chinese spy of a wife flew to China and had a meeting with the vice president of China. Mission accomplished, right? Mission accomplished. We're going to talk about this. Before we do, hi, how are you? Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a sponsor, a billionaire, government. I have to burp. Excuse me. If you want to help support this channel, you could buy merch like the posters behind me. You can also buy you can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. And of course, you can become a patron on Patreon for $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It goes a long way. And without further ado, why don't we just dive right into the shit here. Trump confidant, and you're never going to believe who it is. Trump confidant makes jaw-dropping claim about Mitch McConnell's state. A right-wing political activist, I can't believe this is a real picture of it. I can't believe this is a real picture of it. This thing might be the ugliest thing in the United States of America. And by the way, this thing is an actual Israeli agent, okay? A fuck ugly jigsaw face looking bitch. Actually, no, that's not hard enough. A fuck ugly jigsaw face demon cunt from hell. That's what that thing is. Okay. A right-wing political activist with close ties to President Donald Trump. When they say close ties, they mean that she sucked his crunchy orange dick. That's not a joke. Laura Loomer blew Donald Trump. A right-wing political activist who blew Donald Trump and senior figures in the administration has claimed that former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is, quote, brain dead and will not be returning to Congress. The bombshell claim by online influencer Laura Loomer came out days after speculation swirling around the 84-year-old Kentucky senator's ailing health. McConnell suffered a heart attack on June 14th, and aides have refused to provide details about his condition other than insisting that he was recovering in the hospital. Quote, high-level sources close to the White House tells me, quote, Mitch McConnell is officially brain dead. He's not coming back. Loomer wrote in a post on X. Is this the post? Yeah. High-level sources close to the White House tell me Mitch McConnell is officially brain dead. He is not coming back. Mitch McConnell is being kept alive by life support machines, but my White House source told me McConnell is an organ failure. Hell fucking yeah. And as I reported, sources told me that he has allegedly been declared a vegetable. Fuck yeah, dude. I hope he suffered, and I hope it was slow and painful. Declared brain dead by doctors, and the White House has been told Mitch McConnell isn't ever coming back. Officially brain dead, organ failure is accelerating, life support machine is keeping him alive, and his brain is officially dead, and his wife Elaine Chao has fled the country to China. I wonder if she brought any of his documents or briefings with her to China. She did. She's a Chinese spy. I'm not kidding about that. Okay. Operating, look at this fucking guy, Jesus Christ. Operating outside of an official government title, Loomer, 33, has been nicknamed Trump's loyalty enforcer by regime insiders aware of her close relationship with the president, where she sucked him off to completion. She has successfully lobbied the administration to oust aides, cancel appointments, and shift policies regarding personnel she deems insufficiently loyal. Loomer previously flew on Trump's campaign jet and has bragged of her ability to speak to Trump and those in his inner circle. That makes the idea that she would be the recipient of a leak about Mitch McConnell's health at the very least possible. Loomer's assertion could not be officially verified despite repeated requests for comment to McConnell's staffers, which, by the way, is delusional. I don't understand how we live in a nation where this man could be technically dead or hypothetically a vegetable, and we can't confirm it. You can't confirm it. We should have people storming into the fucking hospital getting proof of this shit. And there's also no like official way to get somebody like McConnell, who is, I guess, incapable of performing his duties. There's no way of removing him from power because we live in hell. But Desiree Townsend, a journalist who first obtained a recording from the emergency responders saying McConnell was unconscious after suffering cardiac arrest on June 14th, wrote, I have heard the same thing from my sources for days. At this point, I am at the hospital for when they eventually decide to cut him off of life support and move his body. His Capitol Police detail is still here as of 3:39 p.m. Eastern Time. I think this whole situation surrounding Mitch McConnell just became far more serious, wrote Kylie Jane Kremer, the executive director of the MAGA organization Women for America First, in a post on X. Later Monday night, Loomer followed up her original post claiming that the White House source told her McConnell was in organ failure. Good. Fucking great. Fantastic. Just as a reminder of how fucking decrepit this piece of shit was.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
You know what's happening right now? He's probably having a stroke. Like, he's probably stroking.
Hey, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take a break.
Holy shit,
Go ahead,
dude.
John.
Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Well, hopefully he suffered and it was really, really slow. That would be incredible. Okay, so Mitch McConnell's wife, who is a Chinese spy, Elaine Chao, traveled to China for work trip 3 days after he was hospitalized. Senator Mitch McConnell's beard, and when I say beard, if you don't know this lingo, beard is a fake wife for a gay man. Mitch McConnell Mitch McConnell was gay. He loved to suck dick and take dick up his ass. And the thing is, you're not allowed to be gay if you're in the Republican Party. You have to live a life of shame. So he got himself a beard, and the beard he got happened to also be a Chinese spy. So that's something. Senator Mitch McConnell's beard wife, Elaine Chao, was in China 3 days after her 84-year-old husband was hospitalized on June 14th. Chao, who married McConnell in 1993, holy fuck, dude, longest honeypot in American history, met with Chinese Vice President Han Zheng on June 17th in Beijing. Hey, friendly reminder, Elaine Chao is not a politician. She is a normal private citizen, and she's got a meeting with the Chinese vice president right after her senator husband is declared brain dead. And there are motherfuckers out here who are gonna say, Chris, you can't say that she's a Chinese spy. Okay, well, she fucking is. Chao met with Chinese Vice President Han Zheng on June 17th in Beijing, according to a Chinese state media service, Xinhua. The report, which was also published in the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the United States of America, claims Han, quote, urged further efforts to strengthen the relationship between the U.S. and China. Brother, you're literally just a wife. You're just a wife of a senator. What the fuck? Chao said maintaining stable U.S.-China relations serves the interests of all parties and expressed the willingness to continue making efforts to promote practical cooperation and people-to-people exchanges between the United States and China. Read the report, which was accompanied by a picture of Han and Chao. Chao, 73, served as President Donald Trump's Secretary of Transportation during his first term. Oh my God, this woman has gathered so many fucking papers, so many details, so much inside information, and is literally hand-delivered it to the Chinese. Real quick, somebody said Chris reading Chinese propaganda. I unironically believe all Chinese media more than American media. That's not a joke. Same thing with Iran, okay? Like, I believe the Iranians and the Chinese way more than I believe the American media. Are you out of your fucking mind? All right, so Chao, 73, served as President Donald Trump's Secretary of Transportation during his first term and resigned after the January 6th riot. It was an insurrection. After the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. She was also former President George W. Bush's Secretary of Labor for his 2 terms. People reached out to the U.S. State Department and McConnell's office for comment. On June 14th, 3 days after Chao met with Han, McConnell was hospitalized. 3 days before Chao met with Han, McConnell was hospitalized. Although his office has not released any further details on his condition, there were reports on July 1st that emergency services responded to Mitch McConnell's Washington, D.C. home on June 14th. So let me break this down for you, okay? June 14th, he has a heart attack, and we, the American people, don't hear about it until July fucking 1st. And only yesterday, on July 6th, do we find out that this motherfucker is brain dead. My God. Senator Mitch McConnell is still working closely with staff on Senate business and Kentucky matters as he continues his recovery. How? Are they using a Ouija board to get his fucking answers? However, he will not be voting this week. McConnell spokesperson Stephanie Penn said in a statement on June 22nd. So here is John Thune, right? Is this John Thune? I believe it is. Yeah, John Thune completely lying on Fox News the other day about his about Mitch McConnell's state.
Senator McConnell, we're told he was hospitalized. Have you heard any word on him?
I have. I spoke to him yesterday.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Nobody has spoken to him since June 14th because he died.
And he was in good spirits. I mean, he was paying very dialed in, paying attention to what's going on.
Incredible. Okay. That's it for this video. The next story we're going to be talking about is Trump's NATO summit in Turkey, where he directly defied Benjamin Netanyahu, which is good. This is good news, Mark. We can finally be bees. You'll live for 30 years. If you don't know that joke, I'm sorry. It is a stim of mine. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that in the next video. So if you had fun, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. Consider donating to the channel if you want to help independent media. This is entirely grassroots funded by you, the viewer. And do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Incredible. 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 All right. You guys ready to move on to the last story of the day? Nelson, you're here. Can we do reactions real quick while I got time? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Let me go through what you've created for us. You still look like a tube of toothpaste. I'm going to throw you off the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. All right, so for Mitch McConnell, here's the Mitch McConnell thumbnail. All right, there's the Mitch McConnell thumbnail. I'm thinking, oh wait, let me turn the chat off. There's Mitch. You dig that one? You dig that one? Yeah, he digs that one. He's working on it. He's working on it. Holy fuck, excuse me. That was a big burp. All right, Nelson, you ready for the next one? Here's Graham Plattner. For Graham Plattner, I'm thinking one of these. Hold on. How's that? You dig? You dig that one? Yeah, he digs that one. He digs that one. And then last but not least, for the NATO one. I already know what I need. I already know what I need. Ready? Okay. 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 Good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that's so fucking funny. Okay. Oh. All right. Why is that so good, dude? That's so fucking good. That's so fucking good. Thank you, Big Daddy Nels. Thank you, Big Papi Chulo. Oh, this is good news, Mark. We can finally be bees. We can finally be bees. All right. Y'all ready? Who was that in the middle? That's Recep Tayyip Erdogan. That's the dictator of Turkey. This is giving Sensodyne, if you ask me. Y'all are bastards. Y'all are real fucking bastards. My mother bought me this shirt. She likes this shirt. And I'll wear this shirt because my mother likes this shirt and I love my mother. Okay? You motherless bitches. You motherless motherfuckers. You fucking bastards. All right. Y'all ready for the last video of the day? Let me go top off my coffee, actually. Let me go top off my coffee. We got it up on a coffee. Do me a favor, watch Luigi for me. Make sure she doesn't do anything that I would do. All right? Yep. Alrighty. Goodest boy, Luigi is a girl. Luigi is a girl. A girl. Can you do the Plattner one again, but stand up? Nah, dude, this is perfect. Just make me bigger. See? This is fine. And just make he's done a little smaller. There you go. Perfecto. Perfecto. No need, no need. Don't you fucking dare tell me to stand up. The only man who could fuck my wife is Donald J. Trump. You fucking son of a bitch. God damn. Our little socialist Colgate tube. You know what? You know, I'm going to tell my mother about all the shit that you guys said. And she's going to be so goddamn upset. She's going to be so goddamn upset you have no fucking idea. And that's going to be on you. That's going to be on you. Bastards. Bastards. All right. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So Trump is in Turkey for a NATO summit, and he's meeting with Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the dictator of Turkey. And it's really funny because Israel is like very upset about this. Benjamin Netanyahu was on Fox News the other day with one of the worst interviews I've ever seen. And he's literally begging Donald Trump, Mr. President, please do not sell F-35s to Turkey. Turkey is a occupying force that has taken parts of Cyprus. You want to talk about occupation, Benjamin Netanyahu? You repugnant, mass-murdering, genocidal psychopath. You have murdered literally millions of people in the Middle East. You occupy the entirety of Gaza. You killed, I think, 600,000 people. You occupy the entirety of the West Bank. You're actively killing them and committing pogroms, like as we speak right now. You're in the middle of occupying northern Lebanon. You've already occupied the entirety of southern Lebanon and ethnically displaced over 1 million fucking people. And as we all know, you want to go to war with Turkey. That's your next bet. Turkey, mind you, is a NATO nation. Turkey is not, like a good place, but it is nowhere near as horrible as fucking Israel. So I've got some footage here where Donald Trump is quite literally, like, he's buddy-buddy with Erdogan. I mean, he loves dictators. He loves Vladimir Putin. He loves Bibi Netanyahu. He loves Xi Jinping. It's his thing. He loves them because he's jealous of them, and he's jealous of their undying loyalty. He's jealous of the fact that they're able to, prosecute anybody who speaks up against them. That is what Trump wants to turn the United States into. But he is buddying up with Erdogan and told him that he's going to lift the sanctions on Turkey and that he's going to sell them F-35s. But also, the first clip I want to show you is when Trump showed up. As you know, Donald Trump is morbidly obese, and he has dementia, and he is dying in real time. He's rotting away in front of our very eyes. Well, Recep Tayyip Erdogan has to grab Trump's arm and guide him to the microphone because of how insanely, he has no gait, right? Trump can't walk in a straight line. His brain doesn't work. He's fumbling around and looking in random fucking spots. It's really one of the saddest images I've ever fucking seen. Get a look at this. This is our so-called, big, strong president.
Told the Iranian leaders, whoever they are, I'm staying out of this.
Right.
And then they rocketed Turkey a couple of times. So now they said, and they've said some negative things about the Turkish leader at the Ayatollah's funeral.
This is literally how I used to walk with my grandfather.
The never-ending funeral he's on. So they said something negative about Turkey, so he kind of risked that alliance for the president.
Let's listen in to this.
He just stopped briefly. It's hard to hear what he said, but our producers will let us know if they're able to make that out. To your point about Russia, tonight a special...
Pathetic, fat, disgusting little piglet. Okay, so now we have some stuff about him being willing to give the Turks some F-35s, and I'm going to show you some footage of Benjamin Netanyahu bitching and moaning about this on Fox News. But here, also, just so you understand how stupid Donald Trump is, have you guys ever heard the phrase third party? Of course you have. You're a human being. You're not, mentally disabled. Donald Trump doesn't know what that means.
defense system going to be handed over to a third party as part of any deal with F-35s?
What does that mean?
Is it going to be handed over to a third party?
Dude, she laughed. She couldn't believe how stupid this pedophile is.
F-35s?
What does that mean?
Is it going to
She literally laughed. She goes, are you gonna...
be handed over to a third party? Is it going to be handed over to a third party? Is that not part of the deal?
Third party? What is the third? With respect to what?
He doesn't know what a third party means. Oh my god.
There's our concerns about the Russian missile defense system. Do you have those concerns about this system? Are they going to have to...
No concerns at all about anything. I mean,
I have no concerns at all about anything. I actually believe him. He doesn't give a fuck about literally anything because he knows he's going to be dead in the next 5 years.
a leader of a country that he's made a much better country, much more powerful country, and you see it. I mean, it's beautiful. You get off the roads of your life.
Yeah, really made this country a lot better by jailing his political opponents. By the way, if Hassan Piker ever returned to Turkey, he would be thrown in prison by Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He would literally be thrown in fucking prison. All right, so here was Netanyahu on Fox News the other night. We actually covered this, I think, yesterday. But here's Netanyahu on Fox News saying, like, you really cannot be selling F-35s to Turkey.
The other thing I'd like to say, because we're on the verge of the president's going to Turkey, look, Turkey is a great country, but it's governed by a man who calls openly for the annihilation of Israel. He occupies half of Cyprus, a NATO country.
You want to talk about occupation? I know we said this earlier, but Benjamin Netanyahu, you have absolutely no right to talk about occupation when your disgusting legion of rats known as the IDF is the world's largest terrorist organization, occupying every single one of your neighboring countries. Jesus Christ.
He's threatening Greece and other NATO countries, and he talks openly about conquering Jerusalem. His foreign minister, his number two, said that the Jewish state hasn't a place among humanity.
You don't. Israel has no place among humanity. This world is far more dangerous because of Israel's existence. Israel does not have the right to exist. No nation has the right to exist, but especially not as an apartheid ethno-state that gives preferential treatment to one religious group.
Basically, it has to be wiped out. His interior minister, said he looks forward to be the governor of Jerusalem. Well, for a regime infected by the Muslim Brotherhood, an extreme movement that...
You want to talk about extremism, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? You disgusting, inferior, Zionist subhumans make the Muslim Brotherhood look like fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
Hates America and chants death to America from that side of the spectrum. I don't think they should be given F-35s or the engines for their fighter jets, because that'll upset the power balance in the Middle East, which is...
Yeah, the power balance, which is you trying to become a regional power, if not a global superpower, occupying the entire fucking Middle East with your Greater Israel project.
Ultimately guaranteed by Israeli air superiority and also by, I think, by America's posture in the Middle East.
He actually sounds a little bit afraid. He genuinely sounds afraid of Turkey. All right, so here is Trump being asked directly, are you going to sell F-35s to Turkey?
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal.
I wonder what country he's talking about.
So, yeah, it's something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best, currently the best plane by far. And it's certainly something we will consider, yeah.
So that's literally Trump giving a big middle finger to Benjamin Netanyahu. More. Here is Trump saying that we're thinking of, oh no, this is not him saying that we're thinking of lifting sanctions. I do have that though.
Turkey has been a great ally for us. Turkey could have gone on the side. They know Iran very well, and they know the problems with Iran. But they've been very instrumental, along with a couple of other countries, of helping. They could have gotten into the fight. I hear some people saying about their relationship with Israel. They could have gotten into the fight. They're a very powerful military nation. They didn't do that. Maybe they didn't do that because of me, but they could have gotten into the fight on the other side.
Turkey's a NATO nation, you absolute window-licking, short-bus-riding, troglodytic, pedophile, warmongering dipshit. You think Turkey would have gone to war with the United States of America when they're in NATO? Oh my God, he's so fucking stupid. I guarantee you that was told to him by Benjamin Netanyahu.
They are a nation that's been very, very good. And I can speak for myself as president. They've been extraordinary in many ways with respect to our relationship, including trying to end the war with Iran, or whatever you call it. It's not even a war, it's a military operation.
Dude, he always does this. He calls it a war, then he immediately backpedals because he remembers that he needs congressional approval to fucking wage a war. All right, now here's Trump saying that he's thinking of removing sanctions off of Turkey, which is so funny. This is the biggest fuck you could ever give to Israel.
I can tell you, we're going to be taking the sanctions off. Okay? I don't want him to waste his time answering that question because we're working very closely with Marco Rubio, a very famous man, great Secretary of State, and with Scott Bessent, and with Pete and everybody else. We're going to be taking the sanctions off. It's time to do that. Okay?
And that obviously this is posted by Laura Loomer, who I told you is an actual Israeli agent. And she goes,
President Trump just announced the United States is removing sanctions on Turkey. Turkey and Qatar are the largest sponsors of the Muslim Brotherhood.
We don't want to sanction friends. It's very simple.
Listen, despite all of the problems that Turkey has, they are definitely a better nation than Israel, and we should cut all ties with Israel, strengthen our relationship with Turkey, and then declare hot war on Israel and wipe them off the face of this fucking planet. All right, now the last thing I want to show you is Trump says that Greenland should belong to the United States of America. So no, he has not moved on past that. Friendly reminder, the reason why they want to take Greenland is because of the Arctic climate there is really good for AI data centers. You don't have to cool it as much with water, but on top of that, they want to create a Freedom City there, which is a billionaire playground.
With respect to what? Well, that's what hurt my relationship with NATO, because Greenland doesn't help Denmark. Denmark doesn't spend money to really help Greenland.
Not true whatsoever.
But it's an important part for the United States. And it's surrounded by China ships.
Not true whatsoever.
And Russian ships.
Not true whatsoever.
And that's not going to happen. The ships it's not going to happen. It was Greenland that, and it continues to be, that should be controlled by the United States, not by Denmark. And when they wouldn't go along with it, and with all the money we spend to help them with Russia, and we don't have to spend any money, we could remove all of our soldiers out of Europe.
Do it. Do it. You don't have the fucking balls, bro. This is the thing. You have to manipulate Donald Trump, okay? Now, if we pretend like he's the super smartest boy in the world, he might actually do that, which is good. That is good. We need to be removing American troops from, like, I hope you understand there's what, 194 countries on planet Earth? I think there's only 4 nations on Earth that don't have U.S. troops, okay? We have fully occupied the entire fucking planet. Do it. Pull us out of Europe and watch them flourish.
Because as you probably noticed, Europe's a very different place than it was 20 years ago. A lot different, much different. It's a much different, and they better be careful with immigration and energy. If they're not careful with those two things, you're not going to have a Europe anymore.
Really? An entire continent? Oh my God, he's so fucking stupid.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, so essentially, very short video, but What's important about this is Bibi Netanyahu went on Fox News and gave a long-winded interview trying to convince Donald Trump to not sell F-35s to Turkey, do not lift the sanctions on Turkey. This is because Israel wants to wage war with Turkey. Donald Trump goes over to Turkey. He loves Recep Tayyip Erdogan, probably because the Turks have given him some sort of, I don't know, a gold watch or some stupid shit. It's very easy to buy Donald Trump. And now he is fully on board with arming Turkey, giving them F-35s, lifting the sanctions, strengthening our relationship with them, which, again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't consider Turkey to be a good nation, right? They are definitely an authoritarian dictatorship that practices political persecution against Erdogan's enemies. However, they are not the Israeli Zionists that have killed millions of people and are currently committing a genocide, 2 genocides, one in Gaza and the other one in Lebanon. So I vehemently support this decision, and then realistically, Turkey will become an enemy in the future. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. I love you all very much. If you're here live, you stay. We got to get these videos uploaded. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And also, consider donating to the channel. There's a bunch of different ways you can help support this independent media project. You could buy merch like the posters and the mugs, the hoodies, the low-cut shirts, all located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content. And last but certainly not least, you can become a patron on Patreon for $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It gives you access to every single one of my videos on Patreon, completely ad-free if you don't have YouTube Premium. Thank you very much, and do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Let's make an advertisement for these 3 videos real quick. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So Graham Plattner, So Graham Plattner, the Nazi war criminal and now alleged rapist, his entire fucking career is over. This is good news. I don't understand how any of you trusted a man who had a fucking Totenkopf tattoo on his chest, or a man who did 4 tours in Afghanistan before going back as a private mercenary for Blackwater because he genuinely loves murdering children. I don't know how any of you supported him in the first place, but we read the entire Politico article in my latest YouTube videos. 3 new YouTube videos. The first one is all about Graham Plattner and his disgusting past. The second one is all about how Mitch McConnell is Mitch McGonnell. He's in straight fucking rigor tortoise, while his bitch wife, who happens to be a Chinese spy, she fled all the way to China, probably bringing classified material with her, and had a meeting with the Chinese vice president. Just so you know, Elaine Chao, his wife, is just a private citizen. She holds no power, no official capacity in the United States government, and yet somehow she gets to have a meeting with the Chinese vice president. Methinks you's a spy, honey. Great work, Elaine. Great work. And then the last video we talk about is Trump's NATO summit in Turkey, where he buddies up with Recep Tayyip Erdogan and quite literally says, we're going to lift all sanctions. We're going to give you F-35s. We fucking love you, which is hilarious because he had Benjamin Netanyahu on Fox News the other day going, oh, Donald, please do not give the Turks any F-35s. This is because Israel's next war is against Turkey. Once they've slaughtered the entirety of the Lebanese population like they did in Gaza, they're going to declare war or just start bombing Turkey. This is because Israel is a genocidal apartheid rape state that wants to conquer the entirety of the Middle East and become not only a regional power, but a global superpower with their secret nuclear arsenal. That's real, by the way. They have a secret nuclear arsenal. Israel is the only country on planet Earth that operates off of something called nuclear ambiguity, where every other nation has to say, yes, we have nukes, or no, we don't have nukes. Israel gets to say, I don't know, pretty much the geo equivalent of a cop pulling you over and asking if you're armed and you saying, I don't know, am I? Yeah, Israel is the biggest threat to humanity, and I can't say what should happen to them. Anyway, 3 new YouTube videos. Go check them out. Valenti Videos on YouTube. Let me know if I triggered you down below. There's nothing more I love than triggering fucking vermin. New YouTube video. New YouTube video. New YouTube video. Fantastic. All right, let's get this shit uploaded, huh? Let's get these things uploaded. Now is the boring part, by the way. Now is the boring part. Okay, so this is our first thumbnail. Thank you, Big Daddy Nelson. Can we get some W Nelsons in the chat? Some W Nelsons in the chat. Episode 495. Jesus Christ. Go. And then this is the second one. By the way, guys, if you had a good time in today's stream, don't forget to donate to the channel. Every dollar goes a very long way. I've never done an ad read. I've never done a deal, an advertisement, a sponsorship, any of that shit. So this is entirely grassroots funded by you, and I love you all for it. Episode 496. And then here is episode 497. Three banger videos, very nice. Thank you. Episode 497. Alrighty then, let's get these uploaded. Surprise, surprise. A man who likes to kill people also likes to rape women. Graham Plattner is done. I told you, I told you, I told you. I knew this man was a monster the whole time. You think Israel is a bigger threat than China? Absolutely. China's never dragged us into a war. China doesn't control American politicians. China doesn't have a secret nuclear arsenal. China doesn't invade and conquer all of their neighbors and commit genocides. Told you not to trust Graham Plattner. All right, publish. Yeah, no, China is no threat to America. China doesn't have to do anything to make America collapse. Israel is doing it for us. Told you not to trust Graham Plattner. Alrighty. Let's also get this uploaded on Patreon. Oh, let me put the chat back on now. There you go. Videos. that one. Title. I told you not to trust Graham Plattner. One or two vids today, Chris? 3. Trace videos. Chris, what do you have to say to anyone who says Russia is behind the disgraceful actions of Israel? I think they're a fucking idiot. I think they're a fucking idiot. Edit thumbnail and publish. Okay, let's get the second video uploaded onto YouTube. Mitch McConnell is brain dead, and his Chinese spy wife just met with the vice president of China. Mitch McConnell is no longer with us. Good news. Mitch McConnell is brain dead. Ineligible? Why is that? Claimed content? Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm still posting it. I don't give a shit that I can't make money off that video. Never say I didn't do nothing for you. Don't say I never did anything for you, alright? I wonder what the claim, I wonder what the claimant was. Oh, no shot. It's because of the why you always lying? Nah, okay, I am gonna cut that out. We're gonna cut that out. Trim out that segment. That's bullshit. I didn't know that shit was copyrighted. Are you fucking serious? Okay, video editing in progress. We'll get that fixed up later. All right, Trump meets Trump defies Israel at the NATO summit in Turkey. Trump sells Turkey F-35s and lifts all sanctions in direct opposition of Israel. Trump just told Netanyahu to go fuck himself. Thank you for the $5. A conservative being brain dead isn't news? Correct. Yeah, this is still cutting. So claims are being processed. Okay, then let's get this uploaded on Patreon then. Thank you for the $10 for you, my Italian prince. Thank you, Fire Cub. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. A couple more of those and I can pay my rent. Trump just defied Israel at the NATO summit. I ain't flashing ankle. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. Agreed. Flash ankle. No. No. Okay, that's on Patreon. That's going up on Patreon. Mitch McConnell is brain dead. Flash your chest hair. That I can do. That I can do. Okay, both of those are on Patreon. Trim the fat on this video real quick. So Trump is in Turkey for... So... Bean! Hi, Bean. Hi, buddy. Handsome. Oh, hi, buddy. You okay? Did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? Yeah. Hi, everybody. All right. Well, this will take another like 10 minutes, and then when that's done, I gotta trim the fat off the beginning of it, and then that video will be uploaded. So, no need to worry about that. What does Beans' voice sound like? Like that. Right, Bean? Right, Bean? Hi. He's a daddy's boy, man. He loves to cuddle. He loves to be held. He just wants to be near me at all times. He wants to be near me at all times. All right. So we got to wait for this. While we wait, I guess we'll watch some sort of YouTube video. Oh, you ever seen this? You guys seen this?
Press W until the red line touches the bottom of the screen. Pause the video if you need more time.
Oh, I gotta go back.
Press W until the...
Did it wrong.
Press W until the red line touches the bottom of the screen. Pause the video if you need more time.
There we go. Enable captions. Switch subtitles to customize your character. Code. Yoshi. Peach. Ah, Luigi. There we go. This is a YouTube video. Oh, it's so loud. I'm sorry. I didn't know how loud it was. My bad. Let's put it on 2x playback speed. Oh, fucking squid. Oh. Fuck! I hit a banana. All right. That's one of the best YouTube videos ever made, by the way. That is literally one of the best YouTube videos ever made. I can't believe that's a real thing. I can't believe that's a real fucking thing. How do they do that? I don't fucking know. What's it called? It's called Mario Kart, but it's a playable YouTube video.
Press
Literally
W
what it's called.
until the red line touches the...
It's called Mario Kart, but it's a playable YouTube video. Oh, god damn it. Oh no, I'm Spider-Man. Oh my god, I'm Spider-Man. I'm fucking Spider-Man. Oh no, I'm Peter Parker. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. All right, return to upload. Wait, I'm confused. I did the check. Take action. What? Whatever. I'll just upload it and then I'll fix it afterwards. Okay, publish. Gotta trim the fat. Mitch McConnell's dead. Confirm. There we go. Okay, and now I have to upload those advertisements. Can you name all of Hell's residents? Let me get a look at it. All right, let's see. Hell's residence here. All right, well, yeah, there's Adolf Hitler, mustacheless. There's George H.W. Bush. There's the Queen of England. There's Ronald Reagan. Is that Margaret Thatcher? Who is that? Hulk Hogan, right? That's Hulk Hogan. I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is, and I don't know who that is. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Blanton Winship. No idea who that is. I'm sure because it's you who made the thumbnail. He had something to do with conquering Puerto Rico. Did he have something to do with conquering Puerto Rico? Yep, figured. Who's this guy? That's not Charles Manson, is it? Who the fuck is this? Oh, that is Charles Manson. I knew it. And now this guy, I recognize his face. Who's this guy? Is that Elon Musk's dad? Oh, that's Fred Trump. That's so fucking funny, dude. That's so fucking funny. Well, I got the rest. Yeah, we should have put Charles Kirk in there. We should have put Charles Kirk in there. All right, let me get the advertisements up and posted. Ulvi made the cube. Yeah, it's a pure custom build. How does the cube work? Ulvi is in there. He's been in there for a long time. And when the donation comes in, he gets a cracking with his hammer. Three new episodes of the Valenti VOD. To Kirk or not to Kirk? That is the question. All right, that's uploading on YouTube. Let's get it uploaded on TikTok. Insane News Day. Three new episodes of the Valenti VOD on YouTube. No shot. Nelson is actively adding in Charles Kirk. He is actively adding in Charles Kirk. I'm gonna replace it. Don't worry, Nelson. I'm gonna replace it. I will be replacing it. 100%. All right, that's on TikTok. Now let's get it on Instagram. Alrighty. Charles Entertainment Kirk. Yeah, that is his name, believe it or not. That is actually his name. content. All right. All right, we're looking good for the day. All right, guys, listen, if you had fun today, if you enjoyed the stream, consider dropping $1 or $2. You can donate by clicking the thanks button down below. Goes a long way. You can also you can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel. You can become a patron on Patreon, and you can buy merch. Definitely do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Can you say my name? If you don't, I will cry. Anyway, but consider helping me out. Consider feeding Luigi. You know how it is. Love you all very much. And Mayor 2000. Go fuck yourself. I'm kidding. Can you say my name? If you don't, I won't cry.
Avi Bagla? Avi Bagla? Avi Bagla?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's heinous. That's heinous. That's heinous. Oh, Avi, while you're here, quick question, Avi. Quick question. This video, ineligible to earn because of like the, why you always lying? But I cut it out already, and it won't let me earn on it. Is there something I can do, or should we just talk about, you see, like it's the why you always lying? I already went through the cutting process, but for some reason it's still ineligible to earn. I don't understand what that's about. But, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You should just re-upload it. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Chris, what the fuck? I thought you refused to use TikTok. Yeah, I don't scroll it. I post my video and I ghost it. Post and ghost. Post it, move on. I don't give a fuck. You know? Cut it on Clipchamp or something. Okay, well, we'll see if this works, because I should be able to do what I always do, which is to just remove it. Yeah, content claimed here. Oh, it just changed. No impact on the channel, no impact to the video's reach, no impact to earnings. Okay, so it just needed a second to refresh. Never mind, gang. It just needed a second to refresh. Yeah, it needed to finish trimming it out, I guess. We're good. Yeah, there we go. It's good now. Uncle Ben here. I'm proud of you, Pete. Chris. Thanks, Uncle Ben. Where is there a link tree? The beacons it should be. I'll figure that out tomorrow. Me and Avi have our weekly Wednesday meeting. I'll figure that out tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Love you all. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.